Here we are again. Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. Caleb Jones. I make a multi-six-figure location independent income while dating multiple attractive women, and I show men like you how to do the same thing. And in this podcast, I'm going to address a question that I have received a lot over the past several years, and that I realized I have never addressed publicly. Interesting. I thought I addressed everything, but no matter what there is, there's always new interesting topics regarding women and other Alpha Male 2.0 topics that I have not yet covered in any real way. And that is the topic of, and many of you have asked me about this, Caleb, how do I maintain FBs, and usually the case is MLTRs, women I'm dating, multiple women I'm dating in a non-monogamous fashion, in the same social circle? Or if they exist in same social circles and they know each other, or they could run into each other because they're in the same social circles or social areas or social environments. How do I handle that? How do I do that? That could be a problem, right, Caleb? I mean, a lot of you guys are pretty good at social circle game, and which is great, by the way. I think it's fantastic. Social circle game, as I've talked about, is of the 4 game types, and that would be night game, day game, online dating, and social circle game. Social circle game is the only one of those 4 types that has actually gotten better over the last 5 to 10 years, whereas the other 3 have gotten more difficult. Night game, day game, and online dating have all gotten more difficult over the past 5, 10 years or so. And social circle game, based on what I'm seeing out there, is doing much better. And so congratulations to those of you who are doing social circle game correctly and effectively and actually getting laid, making it work. I think that's fucking great. You guys are heroes. I think more men need to start getting good at that, because I think that's the future. I think the future of dating, particularly in an alpha male environment, Alpha Male 2.0 in particular, is going to be something related to social circle game for guys who are new or intermediate, and then referral game, which would be for guys who are at a more advanced level. I'm doing that a lot myself, especially the last few years. Referral game, if you didn't know, it's a subset of social circle game. That is when you meet other women to have sex with using the women you're currently having sex with their assistance. Referral game is now not only better than it ever has been on before, it's kind of now on steroids, both in the standard environment and in the sugar daddy environment for many reasons. And so this is another subset of social circle game that's doing well, doing much better. So I think for you guys asking that question, in one respect, it irritates me a little bit because you're asking for problems. But in another respect, I respect you guys because you're actually going out there making social circle game work. I think that's great. So that's good. So kudos to you guys asking that question. At least you're doing something that is working well and tends to work better, and I think will get better over time. So that's cool. Okay. So let's get into the topic now of how do I manage this? Well, step 1 is that you don't. You don't date women in the same social circles. What you can do instead, and what I have been very successful at doing, including when I lived in Portland, Oregon, which is a relatively, I don't want to say it's a small city, but in some respects it is. It has certain neighborhoods and certain regions that are pretty small where a lot of people know each other. And only once have I ever had a scenario where 2 women ran into each other. One time in the past 15 years, pretty good. And the reason for that is I made a conscious effort, or at least a semi-conscious effort, to date women when I'm dating women concurrently in different social circles. Now, let me backtrack 1 second. Dating women concurrently. That means you're dating women at the same time. You're actually seeing them and having sex with them at the same time. You can have a social circle where you date women sequentially, where you have sex with one woman for 6 months, then you stop having sex with her and you have sex with another woman for the next 4 months, and both women know each other and they're in the same social circle. That's okay. And then you stop having sex with the second girl, you start having sex with the third girl, and start having sex with her. But you're only having sex with one woman in that given social circle. That's okay. And so what you should do is, if you really want to make this work, is that you have different women in different social circles going concurrently. For example, let's say you have one social circle and that's a group of friends you hang out with a few times a week. So you'd have one woman in that social circle out of the several women in that social circle that you have as an MLTR and FB, okay? Then at the same time, let's also say you go to dance classes. Cerveza sickness withstanding, you go to dance classes, and that's another social circle. That has nothing to do with your social circle of friends. It's a completely separate circle, and you're hooking up with one woman there. You have an FB or MLTR in your dance classes, okay? And then let's say you're going to school, you're going to college, or you got some kind of academic thing going on. And that has nothing to do with your group of friends because your group of friends you met from some other place, let's say. This is just an example I'm pulling out of my ass. So you have another woman you're seeing there. So now you're dating 3 different women in 3 different social circles, and the odds of them running into each other are not 0, but they're pretty low. Okay? That's the ideal way to do this. Now, I realize it is more difficult to do it that way. I realize it's more time consuming that way, but you do alleviate the risk of women finding out, women getting pissed off, women getting, jealous, women spreading rumors around about you. I know some of you guys have expressed that concern. Well, what if all these women talk about me behind my back and tell everybody that I'm doing all this? First of all, on that topic, outcome independence. You shouldn't care. Do you think I would give a rat fuck? if women in a social circle, I was having sex with 2 women in the same social circle, and they went and told everybody that I was fucking both these women? No. Wouldn't I be the stud? Would that make me look good, especially if the women were attractive? I don't see a problem here. I just don't. Well, Caleb, maybe they might make the other women I haven't had sex with really standoffish, and I wouldn't give a shit about this. I just wouldn't care. I don't see that as a problem. Anyway, so outcome independence, I always default back to that. Outcome independence, stop giving a shit, who cares? But anyway, that's the ideal model. Multiple social circles, 1 concurrent woman in each social circle, and you can sequentially date women in those hypothetical or not hypothetical 3 social circles, 1 at a time. So that means once you stop dating woman 2 in social circle number 2, then you can start dating woman number 3 in social circle 2. Make sense? So you can keep expanding your base within these social circles by maintaining these separate social circles. I have kind of done this. In several different countries and in several different scenarios, I have done this. I have multiple social circles, and I'm dating women, or dating in my case would be FBs because I have an OLTR marriage, but before that had MLTRs in different social circles concurrently. Cool? Okay. Next aspect to this, second aspect to this, is that, as I've talked about, women under the age of 23 have very low ASD. So if you're dealing in a social circle where all the women or the vast majority of the women are age 23 or under, then you don't really need to worry about it. Because even if people find out, even if the women find out, they're probably not going to care. And they will probably have sex with you anyway. That's just the way this goes. This is a different version of referral game. I've done a lot of referral game, non-sugar daddy referral game with women under the age of 23, where I was hooking up with a woman, and then I met her friends, and I started hooking up with her friends, often with her help and or with her permission. Then when I started having sex with these women, I would hook up with their friends and so on and so on and so forth. Matter of fact, in one of my books, the Ultimate Younger Woman Manual at older-men-younger-women.com. I hate that URL, I've got to fix it. But anyway, in that book, I actually have an actual flow chart of where I did this with one particular woman, how one particular woman through referral game led to her friends and some of her female family members, led to their friends, led to their friends. And so this one woman at the center of this circle looks like an Amway, one of those Amway circle charts. This one woman helped me get laid with, I think the total number was 12, 13 different women, strictly through referral game. Now, all these women, except for one in this entire grouping, 1 or 2, were under the age of 23, or under the age of 24, I should say, 23 and younger. So if your social circle involves young girls, okay, age 18 to 23, or I guess the age of consent in your country to age 23, then it's not something you need to worry about very much. It just really isn't. Once you get over age 23, then yes, women start getting a little touchy about this. As I've talked about, ASD rises every year a woman ages. And so once she breaks into age 24, it starts to spike a little bit. When she hits 27, it spikes again. 29, it spikes again. And as I've talked about, it really skyrockets at age 33. So certainly if these women are in their 30s or 40s, you've got to be really, really goddamn careful. And frankly, I wouldn't even attempt it. I would not attempt to have sex with multiple women at the same social circle if they're over the age of 33. I wouldn't even go there. frankly. I think most of you are not in that scenario. You're dealing with women in all of your social circles under the age of 33, which is probably good, probably for the best. The next aspect of this is to be honest. Now, when I say be honest, that doesn't mean I say disclose everything. I've talked about this before. Honesty means you don't lie. So if you are hooking up with two different women in the same social circle, woman A and woman B, okay? And woman A directly asks you, are you hooking up with woman B? Be honest. And as always, if it's not a big deal for you, it won't be a big deal for her, or at least as big of a deal. If she asks you this question and you immediately start to like shuffle your feet and raise your shoulders and start going, whoa, 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 and you like get all hesitant and weird, that is going to raise her level of concern. You're acting guilty, so she will assume you're guilty. If instead you just answer like, well, yeah, of course. And it's just, that's your attitude about it. It's like, yeah, well, yeah, it's no big deal. Yeah. Uh-huh. If you answer it that way, you're going to get much less of a reaction. Now, you may still get a reaction, but you're going to get much less of a reaction. And if you get a reaction, again, just be honest. Answer her honestly. Well, how long have you been doing this? Oh, a while. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Be honest. Now, in terms of disclosure, that gets more complicated. When do you tell these women, or do you tell these women that you're hooking up with other women in the same social circle? I can't give a blanket answer to that because every social circle is different and every environment is different and every age group is different. For example, if your social circle are a bunch of professors, at a college and they're all in their 40s, that would be one scenario. If your social circle was a bunch of 22-year-old girls, right, that'd be another scenario. If your social circle was a bunch of people on a dance team, a bunch of dance people, because dance people are notoriously horny and fuck everybody, that'd be another scenario. If your social circle was a bunch of super hot Instagram influencers who all know each other, hint, hint, wink, wink, that'd be another scenario. So it depends on various factors. I can't give a blanket answer to that. It really depends. And I wish I could give you some guideposts on that. I really can't. Again, I don't do these risky things. I don't date women in the same social circle where I know the women will get pissed off. Outside of referral game where all the women know what I'm doing and they're helping me and they're all involved. I prefer that. That I'm very good at, and I have never had a problem doing that. I'm talking about what you guys are asking about, where it's not referral game. You're hooking up with girl A, and then completely independently on your own, with girl A having nothing to do with it, you start hooking up with girl B in the same social circle. I just don't do that, because I don't want those kinds of problems. But the bottom line here is, be honest. If you are asked, be honest. Do not dodge the question. This is not like a, are you having sex with other women type question, where you have the implicit phase where you just kind of blow off that question for about 3 months, and then you give her the talk 3 months into the process. My usual Black Dragon process for bringing women into a non-monogamous relationship. This is a little different. If she asks you, not asks you, are you hooking up with other girls? That is a different question. I'm talking about when girl A asks you if you're having sex with girl B, and you're actually having sex with girl B without her knowledge. Be honest, be upfront, answer the question, address it directly, but act like it's no big deal, because guess what? It's not. It's not a big deal. Okay, this is not your girlfriend. We're not talking about monogamy here. We're not even talking about OLTRs. We're talking about FBs and MLTRs, both of which are non-exclusive relationships, both sexually and emotionally. So, and as always, if she actually raises her voice and gives you shit and gives you drama, starts insulting you, what do? Instant soft next. Soft next. Instant soft next. And by the way, soft next in these kinds of scenarios are even more powerful, because when you soft next her ass, guess who she thinks you will be going to go fuck the next day? Girl B. Okay? So just soft next. Don't be hesitant. Do not get into an argument with this woman. Do not fight with this woman. You are doing nothing wrong. This is not your girlfriend. Now, you are doing something risky that I wouldn't do, that is more prone to possible drama and problems, but you're not doing anything morally or ethically wrong. This is not your girlfriend. You never gave her a commitment that you wouldn't fuck anyone in your shared social circle. You never did that. At least I hope you didn't do that. God damn. If you did do that, well, then you're an idiot. But generally speaking, I'm sure you didn't do that. Next aspect to this is discretion. Discretion, discretion, discretion. Don't go around being an alpha male 1.0 and shooting your mouth off about all the girls you're fucking in your social circle with the guys or other women in your social circle. I have seen many men make this mistake. And unfortunately, I think, this is just my opinion, I'm not a scientist, that men have very strong biological wiring or strong tendencies in their DNA to verbally blab about their sexual conquests in ways that women do not. The example I've given before is that, and I've run into this a lot in the business world, where married men will hook up, they'll cheat on their wives with some hot chick or younger woman or what have you, and they're so excited about it, they tell everybody at the office. They tell all the other guys at the office. I think I've told this story before. Years ago in my, my last job I had before I started my companies 25 years ago, but the job right before that, I was a manager of a team of IT technicians for a corporate bank. And I worked with a guy, there was another guy and another team I worked with across the hall. We were good friends. We were good friends. We were business friends, okay? And one day this guy came over to my cubicle, and this guy was married. This is a married man, been married for many years. He didn't have any kids, I don't think, but he was married. And he starts going off about how he fucked his massage therapist last night. I mean, oh, we fucked on the couch and we fucked on the stairs. We fucked in the shower, and she's a massage therapist, Caleb, so she knows the human body and knows where to touch. And it was so amazing, dude. And this is a man who's like 35, married. And I'm sitting there going, this is what I thought at the time. I said, I could, as soon as this guy leaves my cubicle, I could literally, and I was a supervisor at this place, at this company. So I had his contact info, I had his home phone number, I had his address, I had access to all that stuff on the computer files. So I thought to myself, I could literally pick up a phone and call this guy's wife and destroy his life right now. That's how reckless this son of a bitch is being. And by the way, he didn't just tell me, he told everyone in the fucking office. I've had other scenarios with my consulting clients, consulting companies, where, a guy in the company is fucking the secretary, and he's married with kids and everything. And he doesn't tell everybody, but he kind of like, he's rubbing the secretary's shoulders and she's having him rub her shoulders, and they're flirting and slap each other's asses in the office. And it's kind of obvious to everyone that they're fucking. And this is a married guy. And he doesn't care because he kind of wants people to know, because that's how men are. So you likely have some level of biological DNA that is compelling you to, when you fuck Susie and then Stacy and then Sally all in the same social circle, you can't wait to tell all the guys in the social circle, I fucked Susie and Sally, and I'm the shit. I fucked her, then I fucked her, yeah. That's just going to cause problems. Please don't fucking do this. You're not in high school anymore. If you're in high school, fine. But if you're not in high school, please don't do that. You're an adult, and adults need to be discreet when they do these things. It's just the way it goes. Unless you're someone who likes drama, and I'm sure if you're asking this question and this is a concern for you, you don't like drama. So keep your goddamn mouth shut, okay? Do what I do. Put her name in a spreadsheet, get some photos of her and put her away in some files, and then someday you could go back and look at the list, the massive list of women you've had sex with, and go, I'm a fucking stud. Do that. Do that privately. Okay, that's what I do. Okay? Do what I do. Be private about it. Don't go blab this shit to everybody. Now, the exception to that would be, of course, referral game, where all the women know exactly who you're fucking because they're helping you. That's different. That's okay. Again, that's what I do because I avoid all these problems by doing it that way. But if that's beyond what you're talking about, keep your goddamn mouth shut. Don't tell anybody. Now, that doesn't mean you lie about it if you're confronted, okay? That doesn't mean you lie about it. But it does mean you don't go blab about it. You don't talk about it. First rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club, okay? But I'm also saying you don't lie about Fight Club either. If you're directly asked, be honest. Tell people, or at least tell the woman you're talking to. You don't have to answer the question if one of the guys ask you, and I'm not sure why that would happen, but I guess it could. You're fucking girl A, and then you fuck girl B, and one of the guys in the social circle says, did you fuck girl B? You can make a decision on whether or not to answer that question. I would probably not answer that question. So, dude, I'm not discussing that. Bro, I love you. I'm not discussing that. Let's change this topic. Something like that, okay? Again, I'm not lying, okay? But I don't need to answer the question. But I am talking about if girl A asks you that question, did you fuck girl B? Yes, I did. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no big deal. Yeah, of course I did. And that's how you say it, like, yeah, of course. Yeah. Real casual, nonchalant, not a big deal. That's really it. There is no magic bullet to make this work. And some guys who ask me this question are expecting me to give them some kind of magical technique that will allow them to fuck 2-3 different women in the same social circle, and they'll never find out, and they'll never get drama, and the girls will never get mad, and there'll never be any jealousy. If you insist on doing this, you're going to have to be ready for possible problems. Even if you do everything I've discussed in this podcast, be ready for issues. And if you don't want any drama in your life, because that's how I am, then don't do it. Just refuse to do it. Date women or have sex with women sequentially in the same social circle, or stick with women in other social circles. Those two things, which by the way is very doable. So that's not difficult to do. You can do it, especially if you're an extroverted guy and you're into social circles anyway, and you've done social circle game in the past, which means you could do it again with new social circles. Social circle game obviously is a very big topic. If you guys want more podcasts on this topic, let me know, and I am very happy to discuss this. I think it's a topic we should discuss more as the world continues to collapse and as night game, day game, and online dating become more and more problematic. They still work. They do still work, but they are harder, and I think they will continue to get harder until we come up with some new fifth option. But until that time happens, I think social circle game is where it's at, or where things are moving to. That's it. Have fun. I will see you in the next podcast. Bye.